this dude is one of the dopest fucking dudes ever on the West Coast. Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name is Cody Jones, and today we're going to be doing another fucking artist review, man. And some of y'all probably already know who I'm talking about because one, it'll say in the title, and two, it'll show right here in the thumbnail. But honestly, I don't really give a fuck. Because you know what? I'm excited as fuck to talk about this. He is the fucking genius behind some of Eminem's early stuff. He is the man that created the doggy style. He is the one that fucking helped build the legacy, the legendary, the iconic record label Death Row Records, and now Interscope. And there are so many fucking legends that he's brought in from Death Row and Interscope. Without further ado, his name is Andre Young, aka Doc Motherfucking Dre. And honestly, I'm excited to talk about this album because, well, not just this album in particular, but I'm excited to fucking talk about. I fucking burped while talking, I'm so sorry. But honestly, man, I'm really excited to talk about this dude because it is currently the 30th anniversary of the 1992 album, his solo debut album, The Chronic. And you know what? I figured what better way to fucking start this Wednesday than to fucking do a video for The Chronic. And you know what, man? I'm excited to fucking talk about this because this album, this artist, his legacy is fucking built on phenomenal shit, including behind some of the beats that was done with NWA, with fucking the doggy style, with All Eyes on Me. Like, honestly, man, this dude, there was so much to say, man, but I figured it'd be best for those unfamiliar that I do a little reading on his backstory. So, let's just get into that. Or, sorry, not my phrase. Let's get it cracking. Alright, so to start this video off, we're just going to be reading some of his bio for those who are unfamiliar with the background of Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's impact on rap, hip-hop, and pop music in general is nothing short of revolutionary. His production informed the dominant trends of several decades of rap, updating the noisy clamor of Public Enemy's Bomb Squad produced tracks by bringing in the funky rhythms for his breakthrough work with his group NWA, or for those who don't know what NWA stands for, it happens to be Niggas with Attitude. Single-handedly inventing G-Funk in the 90s by reworking George Clinton's spaced-out party funk into something aggressive yet still commercially viable, and then abandoning the style when it became too ubiquitous by the 2000s. Dre's rap skills were never as impressive as his production, but he played to his strengths by giving game-changing proteges the majority of time on the mic, first introducing the world to the one and only Snoop Dogg with his laid-back charisma, then to one of my personal favorites, Eminem, with his staggering technical abilities. Dre's multifaceted role in the music industry saw him forming labels on Death Row and Aftermath, the latter of which released massively important records by 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, and Anderson .Paak. along with production duties, label CEO status, and other business ventures like his celebrity headphones turned streaming platforms. Beats by Dre, the Good Doctor continued to slowly and steadily release music of his own as the years went by, bolstering a discography full of groundbreaking work like his 1992 debut, The Chronic, with projects like his 2015 full-length album, Compton, and his six-song EP, The Contract, released in conjunction with the GTA in 2022. Dre, born Andre Young. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna read a whole lot of this, but again, like, but again, Dr. Dre helped Eazy-E, Ice Cube, and so many other members of the group NWA. He was the fucking master behind the beats and the rhythms and everything. And again, a lot of the beats that he made were inspired by George Clinton's group, the Funkadelic, or also known as Parliament, with so many amazing astronomical work and singles, including with one of my other favorite songs, Nothing But a G Thing and Let Me Ride. But we're not going to be talking about the single, we're just going to be talking about his introduction that really blew up, such as the beats behind the song Boys in the Hood, Straight Outta Compton, and one of the songs that really gave people an eye-opening listen to NWA, Fuck the Police, which was by far like one of the most like problematic songs back then like because when you write a song like Fuck the Police back then, it was so problematic because they didn't like it. They took it as a verbal worded threat. They didn't like it. They didn't like the fact that they were fucking like talking shit about the police, even though they were the ones who were brutalizing civilians and shit, no matter what reason. I mean, there were so many issues back then with racial brutalities done by the police. I mean, it was groundbreaking, problematic shit that NWA thought to fucking like reveal the ugly truth that, hey, these fucking pigs are beating us up and treating us like shit because of our color, because they think that we are slanging drugs. So, to talk shit about the people that are fucking disrespecting us, we're gonna make a song and call it Fuck the Police. And so on and so forth. NWA's legacy fucking blew up. Dr. Dre's skills was growing ever more, along with Ice Cube's super talented lyricism, and DJ Yella's like being the second best DJ. It's like with Dr. Dre and DJ Yella, they were both really like talented when it came to making instrumentals and beats and rhythms and all that shit. Like their skills were something else entirely. And the same could be said with DJ Quick, who is my second favorite DJ and producer next to Dre. But sadly, after Eazy-E's passing of AIDS in 1995 and Pac's shooting in 1996, everything really changed and everything became very problematic, including with his issues in Death Row Records. So Dr. Dre left Death Row and he made Aftermath, which, boom, fucking blew up and became one of the biggest labels yet. And it created game. It didn't create, I'm sorry, god damn. It introduced game into the world. It introduced Eminem, fucking 50 Cent. He even brought RBX and so many other talented musicians like throughout his career. So, without further ado, let's just get into the albums and let's just fucking talk about this shit. Cause honestly, man, I'm really excited to just like dive into these albums and really give a review and a ranking as to what I think of them. Starting off with the 1992 debut, The Chronic. And honestly, man, this album, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, there are some songs that I didn't really fuck with. Like, um, I didn't really care for High Powered, Lyrical Gangbang, or The Day Niggas Took Over. Those were the only songs I didn't really care for, but so many other fucking songs on this shit was enormously enjoyable from beginning to end. I mean, I'm not gonna stop listening to the whole album, but there were so many fucking amazing projects on this shit, including with the Eazy-E and Ruthless Records diss, Fuck with Dre Day, everybody celebrating. When this song came out, this shit was huge, especially since it was a direct diss and it introduced Snoop into the music business. And they both decided to target Eazy-E and everyone else on Ruthless Records. But clearly, in my opinion, I think Eazy-E fucking butchered him with Real Motherfucking G's. That song fucking took Dre's head, you know. I think that it was the best diss. But another classic song would be Let Me Ride, Nothing But a G Thing, Lil Ghetto Boy, which introduced the late Nate Dogg. And I guess I would say that High Powered was pretty decent, especially since it had the Lady of Rage on it. I mean, there were some songs that were good, but this whole album, beginning to end, was enormous. And honestly, I'm just going to fucking rate this album with a 8.5. I loved it. I still love this album. I still listen to the whole thing. And honestly, I even have a fucking burned disc of like all three albums because like I kind of felt that digitally some of this music will never last forever, especially with like Snoop Dogg removing Doggy Style and The Chronic off of some streaming services, but luckily Dre brought The Chronic back onto streaming services. It's like I kind of have a feeling that some of these songs would be removed for whatever reason, and some of them will not be able to be playable. So, especially with Wi-Fi issues, like if you're going somewhere and there's no Wi-Fi connection, I can just easily fucking pop the disc in to fucking pop the disc into whatever I want and just play that shit. So honestly, I do not regret burning some CDs and making my own copies, or let alone buying CDs. So honestly, I'm happy that I burned the copy of The Chronic. I'm happy that it is finally available on Spotify and other streaming services because this is one of my personal favorite albums that Dre has dropped. Now with 1999, this was right after he left Death Row and created Aftermath. Despite the fact that this song was made in 1999, the album came out and dropped, which calling it The Chronic 2001. And honestly, this was the album that introduced me into who Dr. Dre was. Because there were so many fucking songs that were playing all over MTV, in my brother's rooms and shit. Like, a lot of these songs were just really bumping, and I was really fucking with it. Now, despite the fact that this shit is fucking 23 songs, I mean, there are still so many other good songs that I did like on this shit. Like The Watcher, Still Dre, Big Egos, Explosive, What's the Difference, Forgot About Dre, The Next Episode, Bitch Niggas, Some LA Niggas, Housewife, Bang Bang, featuring Nocturnal, and The Message with Mary J. Blige. There are so many fucking wonderful singles that came out on this album. It is hard to deny how great this shit was at the time. But I'm not gonna lie, there were some other songs that I didn't really care for that would knock some of the ranking down on this album. Now, despite the fact that there are so many good songs either way, I'm gonna give this shit maybe a 7.5. Because again, there's a lot of really amazing songs, but some, like a pinch of songs I didn't really like, including Light Speed. I didn't really care for it. The song Fuck You with Snoop and Devin the Dude, I didn't really care for this one. I'm always skipping this shit whenever it plays. The Car Bomb, Education, Pause for Porno, and Act Right. Those were just some of the songs I did not like on this album at all. I fucking completely removed them. You know, like this shit ain't even worth listening to in my personal opinion. But despite the fact though, the 2001 is still one of the biggest albums and still one of the dopest, including the fact that they performed the fucking 2001 during the Up in Smoke tour, which had so many fucking amazing, talented individuals rapping at a concert. Like, it fucking had Ice Cube, it had West Side Connection, it had Eminem, it fucking had Snoop, it had so many fucking talented people all on this one single concert, and it was amazing. Like, I still sometimes play some of the scenes, but amazingly, like, they did pay tribute to everyone that has passed on, including Pac, Biggie, Easy, Roger Troutman, and so many other people. Like, this movie, this concert was just on point, like, amazement. Now, there are some songs that I love listening to that I always instantly add to my queue because how much I enjoy them. Like, there was always Bang Bang playing on my queue. The Next Episode, Forgot About Dre. I never really cared for Housewife. What's the Difference? Big Ego, Still Dre, and The Watcher. I always played those songs on my queue compared to some other ones because I love hearing this shit. I enjoyed the 2001. Anyways, it's still one of the dopest albums in 1999, especially the fact that it was the first album under the new label. And then, well, he introduced the game into the music business and he fucking dropped the documentary and the Doctor's Advocate. And what really made it cool is the fact that, like, there are some artists that get beats from Dre. You know, like Busta Rhymes fucking got some excellent beats. They fucking had The Wash, which was a movie with Snoop and Dr. Dre. And that shit had a lot of fucking amazing beats. Nocturnal, he fucking worked side by side with Dr. Dre and they fucking delivered some perfection. There were some songs I didn't care for, but a lot of them were just amazing through and through. And then some other songs that were like made, like some beats that were still made by Dre, including some bars that Jay-Z got. You know what I'm saying? There are so many projects that Dr. Dre has done that really like blew up and really gave everyone else something to work with, even if they're not under the same label as Aftermath or Interscope. You know, because that's just how amazing Dr. Dre was, is, and will be. And honestly, I'm excited for this new project that him and Snoop are releasing. And now, with the 2015 album, I still remember this shit. I was a fucking senior when this shit came out. When Straight Outta Compton was in theaters, I was hyped as a motherfucker when I heard the first single, Talking to My Diary. 2015, Palmdale High School. I'm a senior. My buddy Daquan is fucking playing Talking to My Diary on his phone. I'm fucking with it. I enjoyed this shit. And it's crazy because this was like an album that came out to represent the movie about NWA. So clearly, this was like the biggest conversation when I was a senior. And honestly, man, like I fucking saved up some money. I bought me a fucking Play Store card, and bought um I bought Compton, the Compton album, and I fucking had this shit on my Google Play Music. And by the time that I got this shit and I was able to play it, I was fucking playing it everywhere. And there were so many fucking songs I did not stop playing. I didn't stop playing Talk About It, Genocide, um, Deep Water, One Shot, One Kill, Just Another Day, For the Love of Money, Medicine Man, and Talking to My Diary. Medicine Man, this was one of the fucking dopest singles on this entire album itself. Because, like Eminem, he fucking destroyed this shit. He fucking blew everyone else out of the water with his verse. I mean, I kind of want to play it, but I don't because of copyright. But Medicine Man, this was the dopest single yet because of Eminem's fucking lyrical skill. Like he's on another level with this shit. And what's really cool is that Dr. Dre fucking brought in and introduced a lot of people into this album. And a lot of those people are still blowing up to this day, including the one and only Anderson .Paak. Like this dude fucking came in and he was just doing amazing shit. And with Kendrick Lamar still fucking doing perfection, like he was on Deep Water and I thought his verse was amazing as well. And then with One Shot, One Kill, it introduced John Connor into Aftermath. And I remember seeing a video about it, and he was talking about how Dre is introducing a new member under the label. And when I checked out John Connor's skill, I thought, damn, this dude is fucking amazing. I love this dude's music, his flow, his everything. John Connor is the dopest dude yet. So honestly, the Compton album was dope the first few times I played it. Still a bunch of songs that I play every time. Now, the thing is, there are still some songs I didn't really care for. I didn't care for It's All on Me. Dark Side and Gone, I kind of thought it was shit. Satisfaction, I didn't like it. And Animals, I didn't really care for it all that much. I mean, there are some songs I just thought was crap. But I'm willing to give Compton a maybe a 7.3. Yeah, a 7.5 maybe. Because again, this album was amazing when this shit dropped, but there was still so much dopeness on it. And then there were some songs that he dropped before Compton that were supposed to be on Detox, but clearly Detox never ever came out. Probably still never will come out. But there were so many dope singles that were dropped and that were planned for it, including I Need a Doctor with Eminem and Skylar Grey. This one was a really cool single in 2011. I still remember hearing it and hearing my brother playing it. I was really liking it. And the 2010 song Kush featuring Snoop Dogg and Akon. 2010, everyone was playing this shit. I fucking heard it everywhere. This song was fucking amazing. I loved hearing this shit. I fucking played that song so many damn times because I thought it was amazing from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. I was fucking loving this shit. And like the beat was on point, the skills, that was that puff puff pass shit, Cheech Chong grass shit, like that whole fucking like the verses were just something else entirely. And honestly, the fucking chorus was good too. I was really digging it. And Akon, as always, I mean, he was really delivering a really good touch to the single. Again, it's a shame that Detox never came out and never will come out, but there are still so many dope singles that were dropped anyways. And now, here we are with the 2022 album, The Contract. And honestly, man, I was waiting so long for this shit to come out. Like, I kept checking on YouTube every time I see something about it. And, like, I fucking wouldn't stop looking for it and, like, checking every single update I get for it. And I would sometimes see videos about it and hear little snippets for The Contract. And I shit you not, I was fucking bugging for this song because I really wanted to hear this shit. And honestly, man, like I'm gonna give The Contract a fucking 10 out of 10 because despite the fact it's only like a 6-song album, 6 maybe 7. Let me check. So yeah, I double checked just to make sure I wasn't fucking forgetting one. And this shit is a fucking 6-song EP, LP, whatever the fuck it's called. I still don't fucking know the difference, sadly. But yeah, man, I'm gonna give The Contract a fucking 10 out of 10 because it was amazing throughout the whole thing. Like, I played this shit a lot when it came out, especially the song Gospel. This one was fucking amazing. I love this shit. I was really fucking with it, including, again, with Eminem's fucking skills, man. It is something else entirely. I was really loving this shit. And honestly, I'm not gonna fucking, like, I'm not going to deny or ignore some of the singles that Dre featured on, including Guns Blazing on Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By. I'm not gonna fucking, like, there were so many dope singles that came out that weren't even Dr. Dre's own music, including with the Friday song Keep Your Heads Ringing. This shit is my fucking favorite song. I love this shit every time. You Know, done by Exhibit. Shit Hits the Fan by Obi Trice. Bad Intentions. I mean, again, there were so few songs that were completely on, that were on the Wash soundtrack. But it was still enjoyable to hear through and through. And then there was Compton on Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City album. I thought that shit was pretty tight. I was digging it. No Diggity by Blackstreet, Guilty Conscience on the Slim Shady album. I think this shit was, yeah, the Slim Shady LP. This one was really cool. And honestly, man, again, I can fucking go down so many of the fucking singles that Dre featured on. Your Wife on Nate Dogg's album. Like, again, there are so many fucking singles that really blew up and really, like, showed Dr. Dre's skill even when he's not making beats. Including Natural Born Killers with Ice Cube. Including fucking, goddamn. The Recipe, that was another song that fucking Dr. Dre featured on. Hello, featuring Ice Cube and MC Ren. There was Imagine on Snoop Dogg's Blue Carpet Treatment. I thought this shit was amazing as well. It really gave a very interesting, emotional, like view of, like, with the song Imagine, it was very amazing. Oh, God. The song was amazing throughout the whole thing because it really gave you a perspective of, like, of what ifs, you know? Like, what if Pac only survived that one shot? What if Biggie survived? What if Eazy-E, like, was cured? What if Selena didn't get shot? You know, it's like there are so many what ifs. What if his brother went on tour with him? His brother would not be dead. You know, it's like Dr. Dre really went through some hardships in his career, but it is still hard to deny the fact that he keeps moving forward and keeps his head high and really delivering the best that he can. And honestly, man, I think Dr. Dre is still and always will be one of the dopest fucking DJs and MCs on the West Coast. But other than that, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I fucking enjoyed recording this. It was really cool to really, like, dive into another talented artist's, like, discography and backstory. And honestly, I got plenty more coming in soon, guys. I might do one for Hobson. Fucking, I mean, there are so many artists I would love to fucking get into, you know? Like, and it's not even gonna be just rap. I might do one for Metallica. I might do one for Red Hot Chili Peppers. I might do one for fucking who knows, you know? I mean, the fucking ideas are pouring out of my head right now. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this shit. If so, subscribe if you like this video. Hit the like button. Hit the bell notification. That way you guys can be updated every time I release a video. And other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.